Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. This is my summer series. We're going to be doing a series of short 10-minute or thereabouts videos looking at placements of planets in the 7th house. Now everybody's very intrigued by the 7th house because the 7th house correlates to other people and their role in our lives. It correlates to our marriage partners. It correlates to business partners. And when I say marriage partners, stepping back a little here, it correlates to people we commit to. So there's usually a written agreement or a contractual agreement, such as you buy a house together, you buy a car together, you open a bank account together, or you sign a marriage certificate together. These are the committed contractual agreements we see in the 7th house. So that is business partnerships, but it's also any committed type of personal relationships as well. Clients are also these contractual type of partnerships too. Someone pays you some money, they've therefore entered into a contract with you to provide a service as well. So these are the kind of realms governed by the 7th house, and of course they make a big difference and a big impact on how our lives unfold. So this summer, thanks for joining me, we're going to be exploring every Sunday for 10 minutes what it means to have one of these planets in the 7th house. So check out your chart. You can do so at astro.com, where you can bring up a chart, and in whole sign astrology you'll be looking for the house that sits exactly opposite your AC ascendant, and it will always have the DC point in it. The written letters DC will fall in your 7th house in whole sign astrology. So look for that DC, that's the descendant degree, and whatever sign that falls in is your 7th house in whole sign astrology. So let's get stuck in and take a look at what it means to have Mars in your 7th house. Well, Mars is the planet of sexuality and desire, so this can be very beneficial in terms of relationships. But let's also keep in mind that Mars rules confrontation, it rules anger, it rules angst and sort of argy-bargy essentially. So there's a real shadow and light side to Mars. On one sense, it's courageous, it's got lots of valor, it's a hero, it's sexual, it's desire and passion, it's all this cool stuff. And on the other side, it's got this sort of cranky energy, frustrated energy, angry energy. So we really need to be careful and watch out when we have Mars in the 7th house, that we are trying to manifest life for us at a high level rather than going for the lower vibration. So Mars in the 7th house can receive its fair share of confrontations through relationships. It's not an indicator for divorce to have Mars in the 7th house, but it can indicate that in your life confrontation and arguments will come into your world through other people. Now, sometimes let's say you have Mars in the 1st house, sometimes your confrontations come through your own instigation. But here in the 7th house, it's other people instigating confrontation with you. It doesn't mean that you are an aggressive type person. It means that other people will, for no reason, no fault of your own, sometimes cause problems and confrontation and arguments and violence and crankiness. If you want to manifest at a higher level, you want to attract passion and enthusiasm and eagerness from people. So not that we sometimes have any governance of whether that manifests in our life, but it might be worthwhile praying. If you find yourself susceptible to always getting cranky people, road rage, people giving you the bird and flipping you off all the time, and you're like, why me? I don't do anything wrong. Then pray, ask for support from the universe to attract more enthusiastic people into your life, energetic people into your life. Maybe even just fit, healthy, muscular people into your life would be a far better alternative than getting flipped off when you drive on the highway. So that, if you can't manifest it energetically of your own accord, pray and ask for help from the universe to pull in the better quality people that you want to surround you. This is a really good aspect for Mars, actually, when it comes to winning over other people, such as winning in court. Mars in the 7th house will enable you to win in court, unless Mars is debilitated and smashed to smithereens with bad aspects. If Mars is healthy in your chart, it's going to bring in the capacity to win in court and win over other people in difficult confrontational situations. This is a blessing. So don't think it's all bad. Obviously, it's better to avoid conflict in the first place whenever you can, to take the high road, to just let difficulties roll off your back like, water off a duck's back, and let things go. But if it comes to the worst case scenario and you do find yourself in court, or you are in some sort of difficult situation with a business partner, just know you're likely to win out, because Mars is a winning energy, and here in this house will give you that benefit. It makes you a person who is unafraid to confront others when it's necessary. You're not afraid to stand up to others. And for those of us who are very placid, like myself, I admire this energy. People who stand up and say, no, this is not on. You're not going there. Not with me. I admire that so much in people, that strength, that courage, that heroic quality that draws the line and says no more. So this is you with other people, and that can be a real blessing. You got to be careful it doesn't cross the line into sort of being a bully with other people, being someone who is dominant and aggressive with other people, but someone who can be, like I said, draw the line and create a sense of this is the boundary and we're not crossing it. That's beneficial. It's an energy that likes bargaining and sort of the toing and froing. And here in the house of business and business partnerships, you can actually do really well with negotiating any type of, say in a bank and you've got to bargain for something, or, I'm just trying to think of situations, any type of business. Years ago, I traveled to Tunisia and went to the Medina in Tunis. And of course, there you're expected to negotiate and bargain down. The sellers in the Medina will start with their prices fixed rather high, and you've got to negotiate to a price that you both agree on. And so, having Mars in the 7th house would make you brilliant in this realm, brilliant in trade that requires negotiation to reach a positive outcome. So it's really advised actually that you use this capacity of Mars in your career, or else it's likely to manifest in your in your personal marriage, committed relationships. So it would be much better to direct that Mars in the 7th house energy into business, where you can negotiate and bargain and, sort of go head to head in whatever situation. Better that happens in business than in the personal life. Mars is our fighting instinct, and it needs an outlet. So find that healthy business outlet for it, and it will be less likely to pop up in your relational life. This is actually a Kuda Dasha to have Mars in the 7th house. Now, what this means is that you will tend to create more, or there will tend to be more arguments in a relationship. And it can also mean that you will be a very dominant in relationships as well. Tom Cruise has this placement. So if you think about Tom Cruise, he is has been the dominant one with all of his marriages. Not necessarily a good thing, but just the way he's wired. We weren't privy to the personal lives of Tom and Nicole, or Tom and Mimi, or Tom and Katie, or Tom and Penelope, all his many partners. We weren't privy to what went on behind closed doors there, but it is an indicator for arguments in relationships. So that can often play out in the public realm. Didn't so much in his situation, but certainly in the private sphere, it may have very well been a thing. And Mars matures after 28. So if you can hold off on making any type of committed relationship until after the maturation of Mars, you're going to handle this energy of argumentation and confrontation in relationships so much better, because Mars will reach its fullness, its manageability. Before that, things can be a bit volatile. Things can be a bit, you haven't got a handle on this Mars thing yet. But the longer that you live, especially up until, after age 28, the more you master the volatile energy of Mars. And I'll just say, we all have Mars somewhere. If we don't have it in the 7th house, it's somewhere making an impact on our life in this energized, argumentative, but courageous and heroic manner. Now, the 7th house also shows what our partners can be like. And of course, Mars in the 7th house can make your partners very sexy, very athletic even. So they'll exude this sort of very physical energy, this very sexualized energy that can come from our partners. And without passion, in relationships, our partnerships are less likely to last. So it's really important to maintain the passion, to keep it alive, to keep the desire element bubbling away. You might like to exercise with your partner, and that will be a form of, keeping that physicality at a high peak together. You exercise together and come home and make love after your exercise session or something. Keep that physical energy bubbling along between the two of you. It'll be very, very beneficial. So it's a very physical energy, but you could also apply this to, a business partnership that you were doing, say with your lover, with your partner, with your marriage partner, by working together on a business project and directing your energy in there. That can also be a way to channel this energy at a really high level as well. So you might have, let's say, my partner and I did not have this, but like I said in my Mercury video, my ex-husband and I, we're in a band together. And so it wasn't our main source of income, but it was a sort of a business venture that we undertook together. This is the kind of thing, you don't have to work together. In fact, it might be really challenging to work together with somebody with a 7th house Mars. So it might be very challenging to work in a full-time day job with them, is what I mean. But by collaborating on some sort of business endeavor, maybe renovating a house, Mars rules real estate agents, and renovating properties. So maybe renovating a house might be your thing that you do with your partner. And it is, in a sense, a business venture. It's a side hustle to flip a house or whatever. This can be very, very beneficial. Mars is where we get our motivation as well. So other people are going to be very motivating for a person with Mars in the 7th house. If we get a D for an assignment that we do at school, that criticism might actually be the motivation. Our teacher's criticism or our teacher's bad mark, or the mark that the teacher gave us that was a bad mark, might inspire us to do better and to aim for that A+ instead. Or if someone tells us we're looking a bit pudgy, a bit fat, oh, right, I'm getting to the gym. I'm starting tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. I'll be there. And it motivates you to action. So it's other people and the influence of other people that can motivate you and energize you and get you into action. And that can happen in positive ways, as, not just criticism, but, just let's say, you've got a friend who says, I want to go jogging every morning. Want to join me? And you're like, yeah, no worries. And away you go. You jog together. So very motivating to connect with others in energetic purposes, but also other realms of life, all realms of life actually. Now, where Venus is the young feminine energy, Mars is the young masculine energy. So it's a youthful energy, a vibrant energy. And relationships are going to put you into situations where you'll have connections with young men. So this can be business connections with young men, an audience that is all young men. You might be have a sense of fame, or might have clients who are all young men. And of course, you might marry a younger man. If you're a woman, you might marry a younger man, or if you happen to be gay, you might be with a younger man. So this can be other ways that this plays out. Also, you might tend to have friendships with younger men as well, because this is the house of the other, which does include friendships to a certain degree. Now, it's very well advised that if you are feeling like you've lost your luster in life, you're feeling a bit flat, a bit deflated, then it's a good idea to find a young man and do something collaborative with them. That sounds a bit fun, doesn't it? But what I'm meaning is, go find a personal trainer who can help get you back on track with your exercise routine, who happens to be a young dude. Go find maybe if your bank account's feeling a bit lackluster and you're depressed over it, go find a young banker who can help advise you, young man. They can help you get back in gear and energized and motivated in your finances, in your fitness and health, in whatever realm it happens to be. Now, aside from the fact that Mars can make your partners very sexy, very attractive, and very appealing, it can also make you very sexual in your relationships with other people as well. John Kennedy had this position, and we all know that he was quite notoriously into women and connecting in a sexual way with women. So this can be another way that this plays out for you. Now, it doesn't just mean that you're going to be a raving sexaholic. It can mean that, you're just someone who is invigorated and enlivened by contact with other people and engaging with other people. You're very personally energized by your interactions with others. I mean, other people who had this, Tom Hanks, you know, and he's far from the raving sexaholic that we know of. I could be wrong, but you know, and he is this very personable, energetic type personality. So that's just another example. Doesn't mean that you're John F. Kennedy, but there's charisma here with other people as well, because Mars is charisma. Obviously, Tom Hanks and JFK both had this charisma that really got them a long way in life, whereas people who lacked that might not have got anywhere near as far as they did. So a lot of potential to win, to be diplomatic, to be, like when I say diplomatic, to have a lot of energy to put into diplomatic relationships, and to bring charisma to your interactions with other people that can take you a long way in life. So that's what it means to see Mars in the 7th house. I hope this has been enlightening for you, and I'll catch you next week when we look at my favorite planet, Jupiter, in the 7th house.